Can you believe it is 2024? Happy New Year, everybody. I really caught myself this year saying things that often old people say, like, I cannot believe it's already December. Oh my gosh, where did the year go? And I just can't decide. Is it because I'm old or is it just really was a fast year? I guess time will tell, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. I am excited to talk with you today about 3 lessons I learned in 2023 that allowed me to further step into the fullness of my God-given design as a woman. See, if you have been around for really any time at all, you have noticed in the last couple of months, really this last year, I've had this sort of stirring in my heart around this topic of womanhood and femininity. It's a part of my life that felt very confusing. There's been messages from society and the world around me that have influenced how I view myself as a woman. And this year, it kind of came to a tipping point. I realized that there are some belief systems and views I have about myself and femininity and womanhood that need to be confronted because this is affecting every area of my life. But I had to go on my own journey of discovering what that looked like. And a lot of that came from really personal experiences in this last year. So today, buckle up, grab that warm cup of coffee or tea, and let's talk about the 3 ways that you can also further step into your womanhood and femininity in 2024. Okay, so the first lesson I learned was quite drastic because it kind of came to a head at the beginning of the year. My husband had just been offered a promotion at work, and I've told this story before, so hang with me if you've already heard. But as he told me at the dinner table at the restaurant that he had been offered this promotion, I immediately began to cry. Not tears of joy and excitement for him, but out of sadness and frustration. And I made a comment that was my dream job. You guys. Little did I know in the moment that this very thing would tip me into a journey of discovering some deep hidden belief systems and pain that I had going on inside. See, I realized that I believed that in order to be that strong, independent, capable woman, I needed to be successful. And that meant in my career. And the truth was, I was very unfulfilled in what I was doing in this season of life. And it's not because my job was horrible or wrong or bad or anything like that. Quite the opposite. Ultimately, it came to a point where I realized, yes, of course, there are going to be times in life where you have seasons that are hard and draining and not life fulfilling and you need to stick it out. But when that becomes a lifestyle, we need to look at that because we have been created as women to be creators and cultivate environments and to be nourishing and flourish in our life. And when we are so drained that we have nothing left to give in the other areas of our lives, we need to look at that. I began to notice that the other areas of my life were being affected by the fact that I felt so drained and unfulfilled in my life. My connection with my husband, my marriage began to suffer. I began to lack any sort of vision or feel excited about anything I was doing in my life. The very things that used to make me feel thrilled. Sometimes, yes, we have to stay the course, do the hard thing, buckle down and finish strong. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we stay the course and do the hard things out of selfishness because we have a belief system that it means something about us when we continue to do something that we don't want to do for a long period of time. And so I realized that I didn't actually have to have the perfect plan lined up in order to make a change, but I actually needed to make a change in my life so that I could see the next step. Now, here's the thing. It may not be your job, and you may not even be able to leave your role without having something else lined up. I know that that's a very unique situation for the circumstances that I was in. But I realized that sometimes we try to figure out how we're going to get from step A to step Z, and we actually don't need to know. We just need to make one step in order to begin to feel like we can flourish and thrive and create again. Okay, this second lesson I learned kind of ties into the first, but You guys, I just have to say, being that strong, independent woman is not what it's all cracked up to be. I had this belief system that in order to be successful and strong and a good wife and a good woman in society, I needed to be independent. I should not be dependent on my husband or a man in my life. Though I desire marriage and I desire covenant relationship, marriage is a gift from God. And actually, to be able to enjoy the fullness of it, we have to learn how to depend on each other. My goodness, I cannot tell you how vulnerable it is to actually allow yourself to receive. But when you do, it actually creates an environment and a culture in your marriage that God intended. And I'm not talking specifically financial, but there were ways that I watched my husband continually try to give to me, and I completely disregarded it because I was in this space where I believed that I had to prove I was just as capable as him. But what if we learned as women to be dependent on a good man? What if we learned what that could look like? What if we embraced that that might be vulnerable, but that we were created to receive? You have to receive in order to be able to create. Just look at our biological makeup, right? It's in the design. We have to be able to receive from our husband to be able to cultivate and create something that is living. See, the reality is, in order to have a whole, healthy relationship, you have to have needs and allow the other person to meet those needs. So I had to learn how to have this need that only Elijah could meet. And it was vulnerable and it was scary and all the things. But ultimately, it led to greater connection and closeness that I would have never experienced in our marriage if I didn't lean back and embrace this. And the truth is, there will be seasons when Elijah needs me to be a strength in a way that I'm not in this season. That's just how marriage is. We've been created for that type of bond and connection. So in quitting my job, it was a very practical and drastic way that I learned that it's okay to be dependent, that it's actually a very good thing to receive. It actually allowed me to step further into my femininity and my womanhood. Okay, last but not least, now I know this one might sound a little bit crazy, but there really is peace in every storm that you face. I don't know about you, but I often would find myself feeling absolutely frazzled if I had stirred the pot, made somebody upset, or felt disconnection in my relationships. I thought in order to be that good Christian woman, I needed to be gentle, soft, make sure that everyone's okay with me. And this affected my marriage. I ultimately would find that when Elijah was upset with me, I would do anything that it took to rebuild connection, even if it meant that I didn't feel understood or heard or didn't have a need met that I needed. Truthfully, it actually began to lead to further disconnection. And truthfully, I couldn't trust myself. I had to learn that there's a balance in womanhood. There's a balance to being gentle and kind and soft and being strong and respectful and honoring to your own heart and needs and emotions. Because the truth is, we have needs and emotions and feelings in relationship for a purpose. And it's to bring connection. You don't want to engage with somebody that's fake and filtered and not upfront with you. We desire real, raw, honest relationships because that's how you build real connection with people. We don't want robotic connection. We don't want something that feels fake and ingenuine. We want people to be honest with us. But in order to have that, you have to give a little. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be honest. You have to be both gentle and kind and strong and confident that you have needs and that's okay. Because the truth is, you will always feel anxious in your relationships. Regardless of how healthy or dysfunctional the other person is, if you don't have confidence in your own identity, if you cannot trust that you will honor your own emotions and needs, the other person actually won't trust you either. So I had to learn that there's a tension. This has been years, not just a few weeks of a journey, but I began to realize that, oh, okay, I don't have to back down right now. I get to be firm in what I think and what I believe right now. And that's okay. And my relationship is going to be okay because this right here is building trust with me, and it's actually building trust with you because what I say is what I mean. And I'm not going to just bend and flex because you have a need, because it goes both ways in relationship. So it's been trial and error, but it was a huge lesson I learned this year. So ladies, gentlemen, goodness gracious, Happy New Year. Welcome 2024. I cannot even believe it, but I am excited to start the year with you this year. I also may or may not have a little project that is underway. I'll give you a little hint. I've had some women reach out in regards to potentially meeting, connecting, having a virtual coffee date, and I decided to take it a whole step further and we'll be launching the juicy secret soon. So, if you want to be the first to know, I am going to leave a little link in the description below and you can click that and sign up so you can be on the inside scoop. And I will be sharing the details very soon. I have those like first date butterflies where I'm like over the moon excited and incredibly nervous to share it all at the same time. So you guys, I am so honored to start the year with you that you would even watch my videos. And if you want more videos like this where we talk about the realness and rawness of life and relationships and what it means to be a godly woman, then click subscribe and let me know in the comments below, was this video helpful? How do you feel about it? Are you excited to hear about this little passion project I've been working on? And like always, have a beautiful rest of your week. I will see you all next time.